guys, so let's quickly talk about more information on what is going on between the DRC as well as South Africa and Rwanda. So I gave a background a while ago about what is going on, but today let's give more information as to what is going on. So we know that yesterday, as well as on Wednesday, there were threats from Kagame that showed as if he has a problem with Cyril Ramaphosa. Cyril Ramaphosa from Monday said that Yena no Kagame, they are in peacemaking process. They are in the process of doing what we call ceasefire. However, Kagame came and said, this man is a liar. There's nothing of that kind. And he then posed threats that seem as if there might be something that goes on between Rwanda and South Africa. Why is South Africa fighting so much as well as Rwanda? Because the people that are victims in this whole thing is the DRC. Where do they enter, these two countries, right? And why are they fighting? Because instead, they should be ceasing fire, supporting each other. At the end of the day, guys, it's Africa. And as one of the organizations like the EFF always say, we want one Africa where we can trade with each other. But why are we fighting over one country, which is the DRC? That is because of the minerals, guys, that the DRC has, right? So the DRC has what we call cobalt. Cobalt, is it cobalt or cobalt? Cobalt. They have diamonds. They have gold. They have tin. They have coltan. They have minerals that people are looking for, right? That is number one. Now, let us look into first Rwanda. How did Rwanda not get along with DRC? Right? This thing started when there was what we call the FLDR, which is the freedom, it is the FDLR, which is the Democratic Forces for the Liberation of Rwanda. This is a rebel group that was created or that was formed during the 1994 Rwanda genocide, right? After that 1994 Rwanda genocide, then they came the M23 to fight with the FDLR, and then it was said that Rwanda is the one that is endorsing M23 to fight these ones. Because remember, that rebel group of FDLR was against or was fighting against Rwanda, right? That caused or that played a role in the Rwandan genocide 1994. I hope we get it each other right. After that, guys, then that bad blood between the DRC started happening or started continuing. And it is alleged or it is said from research that Rwanda is known from getting resources from from DRC, meaning that they even have people that are operating illegal mining zamazamas to take these resources that the DRC has. So guys, everybody gahle gahle is gunning for these resources in short. So, because of that bad blood of these rebel groups that are being formed, the bad blood started increasing and increasing and increasing. And it then seemed as if the DRC then wants to find support from other regional states around them so that they can strengthen themselves, so that they can protect their territory, protect whatever that they have from Rwanda and claim their autonomy over their state. They then became part of the SADC, right? SADC is the Southern African Development Community. When they became part of that, that's how South African National Defence Force comes in, because South Africa is also part of that. That's how they then deployed the South African Defence Force to go and assist DRC soldiers or military to stop Rwanda from going in the country because of those resources that they are guarding against Rwanda. That's the history that they have. Because this whole thing, guys, it's about, yes, the rebel groups are part of the whole thing, but also the resources themselves that the DRC has play a very big role in this whole history. And it is not just the Rwanda that is benefiting. Burundi is benefiting. Uganda is benefiting. And apparently South Africa is also benefiting. Hence, they are fighting and they've even deployed their soldiers because they're also benefiting. The South African Defence Force was then deployed to bring peace, right? To be peacemakers between these two countries and also between these two rebel groups, right? But from the Kagame says that our soldiers, South African soldiers that were killed, 30 soldiers, were not killed by the M23, were killed by the DRC soldiers, right? Why are they saying that? South Africa on its own, it wants certain resources from the DRC. These are some of the traits, because the DRC as well as South Africa, they have their own trade relationship. And these are some of the things that they get from the DRC, or that is exchanged between South Africa and DRC. Number one, there is Anglo gold, Ashanti, as well as Rand gold resources. Those are resources that are exchanged between the RC as well as South Africa, or economic interests. Mining is number one, as I've said. Mining is Anglo gold, Ashanti, as well as Rand gold. Why is mining so important, guys? Mining creates employment. Mining boosts economy. Mining attracts foreign investments. Hence, mining is so important, and South Africa as well as DRC have that type of economic interest amongst each other. MTN and Standard Bank as well as First Rand are banks that we know are in South Africa, but there's that economic interest as well as in DRC, meaning you can find MTN, Standard Bank, Rand Bank, as well as in DRC. Infrastructure. South Africa played a role in a dam, in an Inga dam that was created there in DRC. Shoprite and Messmark are in DRC. So these people have a very strong trading relationship, and South Africa wants to maintain that. And if Rwanda comes in and take those resources, and DRC loses its autonomy by these people taking their resources, taking their gold, what do they call this? Smuggling golds, illegal golds, and all those things. All of that will make them to not be that attractive to foreign investments and to trade as well. So South Africa is assisting these people to protect their resources from Rwanda. I don't know if that makes sense. So Felix Tshisekedi, which is the current president of DRC, I even heard his viewpoint. But it seems like he's more accepting to trade with South Africa than other countries, because of the way South Africa is, especially in Africa as a whole. We know that it is developing, but it's doing better than other countries. So rather maintain good relations with South Africa than with Rwanda. So Rwanda is fighting that. Rwanda is saying, South Africa, ungenapi. Where do you enter? Leave the DRC. Let this conflict be between the DRC and us. Leave us alone. And South Africa is saying, no, we will leave alone. Instead, you stop the fight. The UN, the US, and many other AU, many other stakeholders that are involved in this thing are trying to make peace between these countries. But guys, for me, I think the victim here, it is the DRC. And the DRC doesn't even know who is the perfect person to trade with, because everyone wants the piece of pie, the piece of the pie, including South Africa. I hope I've tried, guys, to sum it up, make you understand in layman's term. This is what the fight is about. It's about the mineral resources that the DRC has. Everybody's protecting their interest, but they are using their defense forces. They are using these rebel groups to fight these fights instead of just facing each other, or write treaties or have agreements of some kind to say that we can trade, we can do this. Instead, they're using these rebel groups and using all sorts of things so that they're justified in acting the way they do. Once the DRC, Cyril Ramaphosa wants the DRC to maintain its territorial sovereignty, while Kagame wants them to. While Kagame is saying that remove these rebels, the FDLR. That's what Kagame is saying. Let us not have these rebel groups. And sees Ramaphosa as biased by just protecting DRC and not Rwanda, because both these people have rebel groups. So Kagame sees that as unfair and biased, with why are you protecting the DRC and not Rwanda if you're a peacemaker? But clearly, this proves that Ramaphosa is not a peacemaker. He also has his personal interests in this whole thing. That is why he will go towards the direction of the DRC, because of the resources, mineral resources that they have. Because at the end of the day, Ramaphosa is a billionaire who protects the interest of um, the bourgeoisie, the capitalists. And again, guys, we must keep in mind one of the questions, the reason why this whole thing started is because of those 13 soldiers, South African soldiers that have died in the DRC. The question still remains, who killed those soldiers? It's either number one, the soldiers they were killed by the M23, and that Kagame, by saying that they were not killed by M23, he is protecting the M23, which proves the allegations that Rwanda is part of the M23. Number two, it is because this was a perfect distraction to distract these people so that the real stealer of these resources can go and steal these resources. Number three is because it can be that South Africa is fakentweni ngayazi nabo bangayazi that understand bavele basifaka. Number four probability is that vele they were killed by soldiers in the DRC, meaning it's a game of probability of betrayal. Crazy, right? Let me hear what you think of all these probabilities. What do you think is more probable? I hope I've tried. I know. I was also overwhelmed. I hope I've tried to explain this as short as I could. It's a big history, guys. It's big. We need hour or two, but I think this is the best I could do. Otherwise, guys, do not forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you on my next one. Bye.